What's going on, y'all? It's Cone back here again today with another video, and today I need to rant for a little bit about the Los Angeles Lakers, specifically a topic that I feel like I've talked about a number of times here on the channel, but it continues to become relevant, so I need to discuss it again. The Lakers just had a regression season this past year. They went from 2023 making that big turnaround at the trade deadline where they added D'Lo and Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron, AD got healthy, everything clicked, and they went from a play-in team to the Western Conference Finals, where they of course ran into the brick wall that is the Denver Nuggets. Of course, they got swept, but it was a relatively close sweep. The Lakers had some really good games in there, and it was tough to stop that Nuggets team. They were just on a mission. Jokic had one of the best individual playoff runs ever, and all in all, when you consider where they started the season, where they were like 2-10 or something like that, overall, a big improvement and a pretty solid end to the season, all things considered. And coming into 2024, I thought there would be some growth from the team. I thought they would finish as a top 4 seed or around that. I felt like LeBron and AD would really bring them forward alongside this new supporting cast, and that they were a threat to once again make the Western Conference Finals, at least be a second round team. Instead, they were again a play-in team. Now, they did win 4 more regular season games, but that wasn't enough in a pretty stacked Western Conference, and that once again got them a date with the Denver Nuggets, this time in the first round. Now, they won a game this time, but it was a gentleman's sweep. They had a bunch of big leads that they couldn't capitalize on. Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., everybody cooked them, and in the end, they bow out in the first round. So you feel like after those two exits, at least in my opinion, you would note that, hey, this Lakers team just isn't good enough. They're not championship contenders, because the Nuggets are a team of that caliber, and they lost to them in a total of 9 games in their 2 series. Coming into the summer, it felt clear to me that the next step was to make some acquisitions, find talent to support LeBron and Anthony Davis, whether it's a third star or just a really high-level role player, a couple of them, or even just a few decent role players. Just switch the team up a little bit, find something that works a little bit better to support your 2 superstars. You are getting up there in age. LeBron's about to turn 40. I know it seems like he's invincible and just had a great Olympics and everything, but he's going to regress at some point, and even if he doesn't regress, he's going to retire probably within the next few years. For Anthony Davis, he's getting up there in age, especially when you consider the injuries that he suffered. Like, he's still firmly a top 10 player and just had an unbelievably dominant season, but you don't have forever with either of these guys, so you need to make moves. You have to capitalize on the win you have right now with these 2 superstars, these 2 top 10 players, 2 Hall of Famers. LeBron might be the greatest player to ever play the game. Anthony Davis is a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's rare that you get these 2 types of talents, even in a place like Los Angeles, which is a big time market. So, in my opinion, the clear plan this summer was to capitalize, make acquisitions, and get yourself at least back in the conversation to be one of the better teams in the Western Conference, even if you don't quite reach championship contender. What they did instead was nothing. The Lakers have done basically nothing this entire offseason, and it's insane to me. I cannot believe how little they've done. You know, the 2 players of note that they added this offseason, Dalton, Knecht, and Bronny James in the draft. That's all they've done. They haven't made any free agent signings from the outside. They haven't traded for anybody. They added Dalton, Knecht, and Bronny James, 2 rookies. I guess you could say they added like JJ Redick, and I am hopeful that he's going to be an improvement over Darvin Ham. I think it made sense to fire him. I'm not one of the people that thinks JJ Redick only got the job because he's LeBron's friend. I do think that played a factor in it, but I honestly feel like that could help too. Both of them kind of adjust to the new relationship. JJ Redick seems like a great basketball mind listening to his podcast. He played for a while. Not that every player is a good head coach, but those are things that make me somewhat confident that he will be a good head coach in the league after a while. But first-year head coaches joining teams that have championship aspirations rarely produces immediate results. There's a couple recent examples like Steve Kerr with Golden State, but that was a really young team on the rise with Steph, Clay, and Draymond all about to hit their primes. Like, even if Mark Jackson was still there, that team might have still catapulted forward. They were clearly on a big-time upward trajectory, which the Lakers really aren't on. And then you have like Nick Nurse taking over in 2019 for the Raptors after they fired Dwayne Casey. And yeah, Nick Nurse did a fantastic job, but that was also a team that just added Kawhi Leonard, who went on to have one of the best individual playoff runs ever, and it was already a stacked supporting cast that won like 60 games the year prior. They were the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, so it's not like they were first round exit, felt like they were on the decline. So yeah, while there are some recent examples, it's not like that's a formula the Lakers can follow. I don't think JJ Redick alone is fixing this team, no matter how how high you are on him. You could think he's like the best coach of all time or going to be an all-time great from day one. I still don't feel like that's enough to completely revolutionize this Lakers team and take them from first-round exit to a championship-winning team in an NBA that is getting increasingly more talented and kind of running away from them, especially when you consider the fact that even this past season where the Lakers, again, lost in the first round, they got pretty lucky in terms of injuries. Now, role players were pretty much in and out of the lineup, whether it was like a Gabe Vincent or a Jared Vanderbilt, but their top four guys were extremely healthy, especially relative to what we've seen from them over the past few seasons. Like, LeBron played over 60 games this year for the first time since 2020, playing in 71 games for your top player who's about to be 40. That's huge. Anthony Davis played in 76 games, which is a career high for him and a massive improvement over the last few years. I believe it was in 2022 and 2021, where he played a combined 76 games over those two seasons. And AD is known to be a very injury-prone guy. To get him out there in the court for 76 games, that's probably never going to happen again for the rest of his career. Austin Reeves played all 82. D'Lo played 76. Those are their four best players, and they all played 70-plus games, and they were still a play-in team. So clearly, they need external help. They have to make some adjustments, and that's even more evident when you take a look at the roster, the depth chart. Like, Gabe Vincent is an unknown. Maybe he's a bit healthier, but you still don't know how he's going to turn out coming over from Miami, because a lot of times Heat role players leave, and they're nowhere near the same guy. Plus, coming off that injury, that could also just kind of derail his career. Max Christie is an interesting potential young contributor, but he's mostly an unknown. He's never played that big of minutes. Cam Reddish just isn't very good. Jared Vanderbilt is pretty injury-prone, doesn't give you much of anything offensively. Christian Wood just got surgery, so right now their backup big is Jackson Hayes. Who knows what Dalton Knecht is going to do in his first season? I like the draft pick. I feel like theoretically that knockdown shooter could be big next to LeBron and AD, but a lot of times rookies don't give you that high-level production from minute one. It takes a lot of time for guys to adjust to the league, especially on championship-level teams, so you can't really count on that. Bronny James, I like his game, and I am higher on him than some other people, but he's definitely not a game changer. If anything, he should be in the G League this season. They are still the same team they've been, where they've got two great stars, two top 10 players, but not that much around them. And it doesn't matter if you have two top 10 guys. This isn't the old Western Conference where that was enough. You don't have any depth, and those top guys are injury prone. Even your top guys aren't as good as some of the players that are leading some of the best teams in the West that you're going to have to compete with. Like, if we take a look at what the rest of the West did as well, because they've gotten better over this offseason, it's not even a contest. Like the Mavs, they added Klay Thompson and Najee Marshall while being led by a top 3 player in Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. The Thunder added Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein to a young, rapidly improving team led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Wolves were a Western Conference Finals team just a year ago, and they're led by Anthony Edwards, who is rapidly ascending. The Nuggets got a bit worse in my opinion, but they still have Jokic and have dominated the Lakers the past couple years, in addition to adding Russ and Darius Saric, so at least they did something. The Suns, Pelicans, Kings, they all made moves. Even the Warriors and Clippers, who lost massive pieces like Paul George and Klay Thompson, have done something to try and maintain relevance, whether it's the Warriors adding D'Anthony Melton, and they added Buddy Hield, and they do still have young players like a Kuminga and Pods who could theoretically pop this season. The Clippers added Derrick Jones Jr. to try and give them some wing defense. They still have Kawhi and James Harden. The Grizzlies are going to be back. The Rockets are rapidly improving. Everyone around the Lakers is getting better, while the Lakers are actively sitting on their hands, doing literally nothing. And I do understand maybe they don't want to mortgage their future because they know LeBron is going to retire soon and AD is getting up there in age and towards his mid-30s. But at the same time, you have LeBron and Anthony Davis. How often are you going to get two Hall of Fame top 10 players in the league right now that have won a championship for you before on your roster? I know for the Lakers it happens, like they had, Kobe and Shaq. They've got LeBron and AD now. They've had all-time duos, Magic and Kareem. It's just the way things go for the Lakers because they're in LA. They are the Lakers. But you can't really bank on that being something that happens anytime soon. It sucked to watch Kobe over his last few seasons just have to play in these really bad teams. I don't want to see that for LeBron or AD. And I just wish they would go for it. It feels like they have a really solid foundation if they cashed in the last couple of picks they had and some of their assets. I think this is a team that could still find a way to be pretty competitive in that Western Conference. They even struck out on free agents they were rumored to be interested in, like Jonas Valanciunas and DeMar DeRozan, with DeRozan going to a division rival, by the way, in the Sacramento Kings. Like LeBron said he was willing to take a pay cut if they could bring in a free agent, and they couldn't convince anybody to come on. We've had a lot of conversations about the Lakers mismanaging things, about Rob Pelinka not doing a great job over the past few years, and I feel like this summer, out of all of them, is one of his biggest fumbles. You cannot afford to waste the time of these two two all-time greats in LeBron and AD while you have them on your roster. Some things I would like to see them do is like a Jeremy Grant trade. That's one I love the idea of, and I know it's been a rumor for a little while. Maybe it still ends up happening leading into this season or within the first couple of months or whatever. But I do think Jeremy Grant would be a big-time addition. He's not really a third star, but he's that really high-level role player, big-time contributor who can shoot, who can defend, who can fit in really well next to LeBron and AD in that front court. Like LeBron, AD, and Jeremy Grant is an unbelievable 3 through 5. Austin Reeves, you might have to trade D'Lo to go ahead and make the money work there, but you can find somebody else to fill in that spot, or put LeBron at the 1. He can do that, fill someone else at the 3. Like, there are so many ways you can maneuver that lineup. I love the idea of him. I even wouldn't hate the idea of them taking a swing on like a Robert Williams, just adding another big man to this team, because again, right now their backup big is Jackson Hayes, and even when Christian Wood comes back, he's not very convincing at all in my opinion. And a lot of other guys who aren't Blazers, because I only for some reason mentioned 2 Blazers to begin this trade conversation, could be options for them. There's so many names out there. Just please do something. Maybe it will come mid-season, but it feels like they need time to gel everything together, and this is a squad that can't really afford a slow start. If you start off pretty rough to begin the year, especially with the threat of injuries always looming, they could very well end up outside the play-in. That's definitely not impossible. I think it was ESPN who recently predicted that they were going to be an outside the play-in team, and I'm not going to go that far, because when you have 2 top 10 players, it's hard to ever imagine that unless they do go through pretty drastic injuries. But it's definitely not an impossible scenario. In a Western Conference like this, you can't waste time. You can't lose games to start the year and just try and make a plucky comeback to a playing team and then go on a run. It's not happening. You're going to get decimated by the teams at the top of the West. It's just frustrating to think that a duo this good will probably only end up with a couple of Western Conference Finals appearances, 1 Finals appearance, and win. They were so good. They have been so good when they've been on the court. I know they've had injury issues, but it feels like there's just been so much mismanagement and fumbling all throughout these summers, these off seasons, these trade deadlines. Feels like they hardly ever get things right. Like, I really like their deadline in 2023. I felt like that was a great start. I like that they kind of kept continuity going into this past season, but it wasn't working. They did nothing at this year's deadline. They did nothing this summer. Back in the 2021 offseason, after their loss to the Suns in that pretty injured first round, I felt like they overreacted. They traded everybody away. They tried to go for Russ, which, I'll be honest, I like the idea of in the moment. A lot of that was just because I was a Russ fan, or am a Russ fan still, but I wanted to see Russ win a ring. So I was like, okay, cool, yeah, this is for sure going to work out. Obviously, definitely did not. So yeah, it's just kind of another case of Rob Pelinka, Lakers front office general management fumbling an all-time duo. And it is frustrating as well, because LeBron is one of my favorite players ever. It sucks that it seems like they might just let his last few years waste away. I guess it's also on him, because he could have left at any point in recent years. He could have not signed contract extensions. And it does help out my thunder that LeBron isn't on a better team, or that the Lakers aren't better. But even still, it's just a rough situation. If I had to predict right now, again, I do think they make the playoffs, but are a first-round exit like last year at the hands of somebody who's far better, who actually improved and did something this offseason, rather than just hoping that their 40-year-old and injury-prone other star in Anthony Davis were going to be enough to carry them to a top seed, to a Western Conference Finals berth, to wherever they're trying to get to. It just feels unrealistic. I think there's going to be more injuries. I feel like the depth is going to be really exposed by deeper teams, that LeBron and AD will continue to slow down more and more. Maybe there's some insane move up their sleeves that I just don't see coming, but I don't think there is. And they just continue to waste time of these 2 top 10 players, of these 2 all-time greats. They're wasting everybody's time, to be honest. Lakers fans, their time's getting wasted. Anybody who wants to see LeBron compete at the highest level in the last few years of his career, they're wasting their times. They're wasting basketball fans' times. Everybody's time is being wasted by the Lakers and their front office, and just the inability to really do anything. Again, their offseason was Dalton, Knecht, and Bronny James. That's it. And JJ Redick as the head coach. I guess they lost Taurean Prince too, which is another L that we could throw in there, but I guess it is a transaction that happened. It's just frustrating. Anyways, I just want to give you a little bit of a rant for a moment and talk about this. Let me know down below in the comments what you would do if you were the Lakers front office at this point. Are there any moves you would make? Would you just continue to go into this season with the way they're currently constructed? Was there anything you would have done differently over the past few years in terms of management? Do you think there wasn't anything they could have done and this was always their destiny? Would love to hear your thoughts. But yeah, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. I'll see y'all later. Real one, say it back.